HomeApp starts with a simple step-by-step startup wizard. The wizard walks through the entire process of analyzing a home purchase, sale, decision, or a decision to simply hold on to your home you already have. First step is to select the geographical region. This is the expensive Silicon Valley region. Next, you want to select the value or the price you might sell the home in that region. This is the median price in the Silicon Valley according to recent reports, $1.4 million. A very important number is to choose the floor sale price. That's as low as you can go without severe consequences. If this hypothetical buyer or seller gets less than $900,000 in current inflation-adjusted dollars, they've lost too much, maybe their kids can't go to college, they can't retire, they're destitute. So it's a very important number for choosing your risk. For the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to say consider selling the house in 5 years, 2031. What are the risks? It thinks a little bit. The Startup Wizard has a series of narrations on key topics to walk you through the process of making a risk analysis. One of those is inflation rate. You can use the official inflation rate. Many people find that inflation rate seems to be low for them. You can go through your records, your credit card bills, your bank statements, and figure out what your personal inflation rate is and put that in the application to give you a more accurate analysis of your real gains adjusting for inflation, your real risks. I'm going to put in 5% here. That's higher than the typical inflation rate reported by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It thinks a bit more. Another narration explains how you change the inflation rate in the detailed settings and controls of the application. You do not have to use the Startup Wizard, but it's very convenient. The biggest risk to home buyers is a long-term crash due to structural changes in the economy, such as the huge decline in U.S.-based manufacturing from the 1970s up to the present day that devastated housing markets in Flint, Michigan, Detroit, many areas, many neighborhoods. It's still a problem. Zoom and other remote collaboration tools may cause an exodus of homebuyers from expensive urban markets like the Silicon Valley. AI, which is in the news, we see news stories about AI layoffs already, may eliminate the jobs of knowledge worker homebuyers, just in the same way that manufacturing jobs were eliminated or greatly reduced in the United States over the last several decades. Would you like to see the effect of a Flint, Michigan-like crash? Yes. We've seen all of the layoffs and frightening news stories about AI, not so much about Zoom, which is a much more proven technology. So let's say the crash actually starts in 2026, this year. Again, a narration that shows you how you can turn on and off and control the structural crash through the detailed controls without the Startup Wizard. In many cases, the Startup Wizard is very convenient. We have a feedback form to help us improve the application so it can better serve you, better help you evaluate the risks, and avoid the risks as much as possible. You can also skip this and disable it if you wish. Here are the results. The chance of losing too much is almost 95%, very high. In this detailed view, you can see the red bars indicate the sale of the house is too low. It's lower than the $900,000 floor price in inflation-adjusted terms. So the risk here is very large. What can this buyer or seller do differently? Use the Startup Wizard again and select a different area. Now we have 3 examples in this trial version. We have the expensive San Jose, Silicon Valley area, and we have 2 popular, less expensive areas where many people have been moving in the last few years. Notably Austin, Texas. Its median house price is almost a third of the Silicon Valley area at $504,000, according to recent reports. Similar for Nashville. We're going to select Austin, which is probably the most popular destination for people leaving the Silicon Valley. We select that. We no longer have to put our $1.4 million into a big house, or actually not a big house, a small house in the Silicon Valley. Let's buy something in Austin and only put in $500,000. That frees up $900,000. We're going to give a floor price of $100,000 in Austin, we're going to say that this person who makes the move can afford to lose $400,000. Why is it a little less than in the Silicon Valley? In the Silicon Valley, they're used to living there. They've been there a while. They're going to take some risks and spend some money to move to Austin. It's reasonable to decrease the amount of money that they can afford to lose, having made a big move to another area. Again, we're going to keep the home sale 5 years in the future. How could they do? It's thinking a bit. Again, we get these narrations every time until we turn them off or skip them, so we can skip them. Well, again, we'll use the 5% inflation rate. Again, a narration, we're just going to skip it. You've seen it before. Another narration, I've already gone through that. Do we want to see a Flint, Michigan? Yes. AI, Zoom, all of these major technological changes are happening all over the world. They're not just a Silicon Valley phenomenon. They're not just a U.S. phenomenon. They're probably global in impact. So let's see what would happen in Austin. Well, again, we'll say that the crash is already starting. We see all the layoffs announced in the news recently. It's thinking. Again, another narration to how to turn on and off the structural crash. We'll just skip that again. And we'll skip this one. And here are the results. All blue, the chance of losing too much is less than 0.1%. Risks are never zero, but they're very low. Why is that? Because this person can afford to sell the house even at $100,000 in inflation-adjusted dollars. And even with this very large crash, almost half the value of the house is lost. It's only down to an average of maybe $280,000, maybe a worst case of something like $260,000. So again, the chances are very small. That just about ends it. I want to show a couple things. These are the detailed controls here, which were shown in some of the narrations. This is the settings, which allows you to configure it in various ways. You can enable and disable the narrations as you get used to them. You can set many of the values. Here, if you get used to the application, this may be faster than the Startup Wizard, but the Startup Wizard is very convenient. So let's close that. We'll press the quit button. That's the basic loop, the basic cycle of analyzing different purchases, sales, decisions to hold on to the house in different jurisdictions, different areas of the country. Mathematical software develops algorithms and software to automate complex data analysis, including our core math recognition technology, a search engine for math, which empowers users to find obscure mathematical formulas for otherwise incomprehensible data.